Good morning, students. How are you? Hope you are doing great. This is Dr. B. Tulasi, working as Associate Professor in the Department of Computer Science and Engineering, Vignan's Nerula Institute of Technology and Sciences for Women. In the last session, we have seen the first unit, and let us see what are the contents of the first unit. In the unit 1, we have seen the structure of the complex systems, the inherent complexity of the software, attributes of the complex system, organized and disorganized complexity, bringing order to chaos, designing complex systems, evolution of object model, foundation of object model, elements of object model, applying the object model. If you have any doubts regarding the topics, you can go back and visit the links given in the YouTube. Coming to the today's session, we are going to see the contents of the Unit 2. Coming to the syllabus of Unit 2, today we are going to study about the classes and objects. Here, the nature of the object, relationships among the objects, nature of the classes, relationships among the classes, interplay of classes and objects, identifying classes and objects, importance of proper classification, identifying classes and objects, key abstractions and mechanisms. Let us see the topics one by one. The first topic of today's session is classes and objects. Here we are going to see the brief introduction about the classes and objects. We all know that object is nothing but an instance of class, and class is a collection of objects. And coming to the object-oriented analysis, when we use object-oriented methods to analyze or design a complex software system, our basic building blocks are classes and objects. And an object is an abstraction of something in a problem domain, reflecting the capabilities of a system to keep information about it, interact with it, and sometimes it need to do the both. Objects have an internal state that is recorded in a set of attributes. Objects have a behavior that is expressed in terms of operations. The execution of operations changes the state of the object and stimulates the execution of operations in other objects. Objects have an origin in a real-world entity. Classes represents group of objects which have same behavior and information structures. Every object is an instance of a single class. Class is a kind of type, an abstract data type, or an entity. Classes are the same in both analysis and designing. A class defines the possible behaviors and the information structure of all its object instances. This is a brief introduction of the classes and objects, which we have discussed right now. Coming to the next topic, key abstractions and mechanisms. How you identify the key abstractions, how to find the key abstractions. A key abstraction is a class or object that forms part of the vocabulary of the problem domain. The primary value of identifying such abstractions is that they give boundaries to our problem. They highlight the things that are in the system and therefore relevant to our design, and suppress the things that are outside the system and therefore superfluous. The identification of key abstractions is highly domain specific. As Goldberg states, the appropriate choice of objects depends, of course, on the purpose to which the application will be put and the granularity of information to be manipulated. As we mentioned earlier, the identification of key abstractions involves two processes, discovery and invention. Through discovery, we come to recognize the abstractions used by the domain experts. If the domain expert talks about it, then the abstraction is usually important. Through invention, we create new classes and objects that are not necessarily part of the problem domain, but are useful artifacts in the design or implementation. For example, a customer using an automated teller speaks in terms of accounts, deposits, and withdrawals. These words are part of the vocabulary of the problem domain. A developer of such a system uses these same abstractions but must also introduce new ones such as databases, screen managers, lists, queues, and so on. These key abstractions are artifacts of the particular design, not of the problem domain. The identification of key abstractions can be done using discovery and invention. Next, coming to the refining key abstractions. Once we identify a certain key abstraction as candidate, we must evaluate it. As Troutstrup is the inventor of C++, such as often this means that the programmer must focus on the questions. How are objects of this class created? Can objects of this class be copied or destroyed? What operations can be done on such objects? If there are no good answers to such questions, the concept probably wasn't clean in first place, and it might be a good idea to think a bit more about the problem and the proposed solution instead of immediately starting to code around the problems. Next, naming conventions are as follows. Objects should be named with the proper noun phrases such as sensor or simply shapes. Next one is classes should be named with the common noun phrases such as sensor or shapes. Next one, modifier operations should be named with active verb phrases such as draw, move left. Such type of name should be given. Selector operations should imply a query or be named with the verbs of the form to be. So this is how we refine the key abstractions. Next, coming to the identifying mechanisms. So how you find the mechanism? We use the term mechanism to describe any structure whereby objects collaborate to provide some behavior that satisfies a requirement of the problem. Whereas the design of a class embodies the knowledge of how individual objects behave, a mechanism is a design decision about how collection of objects cooperate. Mechanisms thus represent patterns of behavior. For example, consider a system required for an automobile. Pushing the accelerator should cause the engine to run faster, and releasing the accelerator should cause the engine to run slower. How this actually comes about is absolutely immaterial to the driver. Any mechanism may be employed as long as it delivers the required behavior, and thus which mechanism is selected is largely a matter of design choice. More specifically, any of the following designs might be considered. A mechanical linkage from the accelerator to the carburetor. A electronic linkage from a pressure sensor below the accelerator to the computer that controls the carburetor. No linkage exists. The gas tank is placed on the roof of the car, and gravity causes fuel to flow to the engine. Its rate of flow is regulated by a clip around the fuel line. Pushing on the accelerator pedal eases tension on the clip, causing the fuel to flow faster. These are the mechanisms identified. So this is regarding the Unit 2. So far we have covered all the topics of the Unit 2. Hope you have understood well about the concepts. Let's have a quick recap about the topics. What we have gone through today's session. We have seen the nature of the object. The nature of the object is it should be of three types. First one is tangible or visible thing. Second one is it should be apprehended intellectually, and next one is it should thought or action directed. Next, coming to the what is object. In this we have seen that object is a tangible entity that exhibits some well-defined behavior. So, which is physically visible is object, and which is not physically visible. It means time, beauty, air, colors are not objects. And we have seen that three properties of the object, they are state, behavior, identity. Here we have seen also the operations of an object. And coming to the operations, we have seen 5 types of operations. First one is modifier, selector, iterator, constructor and destructor. Next, we have seen the object lifespan. In that we have seen a image of a person from the birth to the death to represent the lifespan of an object. Next, we have gone through the roles and responsibilities. So, role is nothing but a mask, and the responsibilities of a person who plays the role. And next, we have seen the relationships among the objects. We have seen 2 types of relationships. First one is links and second one is aggregation. Next, we have seen the nature of the class. We know that class is a set of objects that share the common structure and a common behavior. In this, we have seen an example TV, and it is having three instances. First one is Derex, and second one is John and Job. These are the three instances of a class TV, and that example we have seen in the nature of the class. Next, we have seen the class life cycle. In this life cycle, how the class is interacting with the other operations has been seen. Relationships among the classes has been seen here. The relationships are association, inheritance, aggregation, using, instantiation, and meta-class. Next, we have seen the interplay of classes and objects. And next, we have seen the classification. And the classification means whereby we order the knowledge. Here we have seen the difficulty of the classification. Next, we have seen identifying the classes and objects. In this, we have seen three types. First one is classical categorization, second one is conceptual clustering, and third one is a prototype theory. And coming to the next one, how you identify the classes and objects by using this object-oriented analysis. Here we have seen 6 approaches. First one is classical approach, and second one is behavioral analysis, third one is domain analysis, fourth one is use case analysis, fifth one is CRC cards, and sixth one is structured analysis. And next we have seen the key abstractions and mechanisms. In this we have seen the how to identify the key abstractions, how to find the key abstractions. And in this unit we have entirely covered about the objects and classes. And now coming to the quiz part. See, in the quiz part I have given some questions. Those are: what is an object? What is a class? What are operations of objects? What are relationships of objects? What are the roles played by object during the participation in link? I told the 3 roles. If you can remember those 3 roles, you know the answer. What are the relationships of classes? What are the types of inheritance? Inheritance also I told 2 types. First one is single inheritance, second one is multiple inheritance. And next, what is classification? What are the general approaches of classification? Name the object-oriented analysis approaches. I told the 6 methods. What is meant by key abstraction? What are the approaches to identify the classes and objects? These are the quiz questions in this unit 2. If you can answer these questions, I hope that you understood the class well. If you have any doubts, don't worry. Go back and play the videos. Thank you so much. Let's meet in the next session. Till then, have a safe day. Follow SMS, sanitizers, masks, and social distancing. Also, wash your hands thoroughly. Stay safe, stay healthy. Thank you once again.